Hammers up, everyone. Tally here. Shadowlands Alpha, first dungeon, the Necrotic Wake, which you'll be encountering in the first leveling zone, Bastion, kind of like the end of the zone dungeon storyline place. Very necro, very poisonous, very rotty. I'm trying to find every word to describe it. It's a lot of fucking magic damage, is what it is. So we're back on the Prot Paladin. The holy power is flowing. You can see it there underneath my frames. It's been a while, man, but it's like riding a bike. I mean, all we've really done is kind of exchanged one style of Paladin tanking in Legion and BFA back to what I did for 3 expansions. So I thought it would be kind of difficult to get back into the swing of things, man. It was like boom, boom, boom. I was like right there with it, man. Holy power, you know, generate it, spend it, generate it, spend it. Press all the buttons. And obviously this style of tanking is a bit more spammy. So, you know, press all your buttons. Then his Shield of the Righteous. I mean, Shield of the Righteous uptime should be super, super high for us in Shadowlands, which I think is going to make us a very powerful tank. Being that our armor is still being increased by a lot. When Shield of the Righteous goes up, we're talking about going from like, you know, 20, 30% with our current armor to like 67 with just one Shield of the Righteous. And now that Blessed Hammer generates Shield of the Righteous, which we did not have, or excuse me, Holy Power, which we didn't have before, I think, Legion. That's 3 charges. That's right there. There's a Shield of the Righteous without even hitting Judgment or Avengers Shield or Avengers Shield procs. Also, Judgment, we have the same buff that Rets do, where whatever we judge is going to take 25% more damage from our next Holy Power spender. In general, then you'll see it consumes it once I hit Shield of the Righteous, which is it on that mob. Now let's take a look at Blight Bone here. Very easy boss, but is it? Right now, everything's super overtuned, as they usually do with any alpha in the first set of dungeons you encounter. So the ad, there's going to be 2 ads that come out of this boss. He's going to pretty much like do a frontal cone. It actually targets a player. The player has to point it away from the raid or the 5-man group, whatever. And these 2 ads come out. You cannot let the ads touch you. The melee will like one-shot you. And then there's crunch. Keep up active mitigation for that. That's like the tank buster. So there's Heaving Wretch. There go the ads. Carrion the Worm. I'm going to use my little War Stomp here to control them. We actually did really good. The DK in this fight was ridiculous. He did just so much damage. Right now, Frost DKs are broken. Doesn't matter what you use. One-handers. Now you can use 2-handers as Frost. That was super fast. Did pretty good damage. Prot right now is doing amazing damage in single target and big ad packs. I'm loving it. And that, you know, that's because we have abilities like Holy Avenger, where, you know, you're popping off with holy damage, you know, for a good amount of time too. And we also have Divine Purpose. We have Sanctified Wrath now. I decided to stick with Final Stand, or aka Bubble God as I call it, just so I can, you know, in case I'm in trouble, I could bubble taunt everything. Because, like I said, like Bile Spit right here with this trash pack, very nasty dot for damage. And yeah, when this dungeon for me just screamed, you know, Holy Shield. I didn't even use Holy Shield, but it just screamed Holy Shield. It screamed Spell Warding. It screamed Bubble Taunt. We have Word of Glory to self-heal with now. And it felt good, man. Like, at first I was a little worried. I was like, oh, fucking Holy Power. But, you know, I guess it made you just realize how good the design was back then. The biggest difference, I think, with the Holy Power now, or back then and now, is just it's just a spammier tank of spec to play. The only thing you really have to worry about is making sure that you have enough Holy Power to hit your Shield of the Righteous and to Word of Glory, and make sure that you judge the target that you're trying to do your holy damage on. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, I'm doing some pretty good damage on this trash pack here. Now, this trash pack is pretty awesome. Necromancer, you kill a Necromancer, all the ads around it die. You know, in case you guys run this dungeon in the future, you want the little tips here and there. Ooh, excuse me, here and there. Burperino. Oh, that's good for the video. Ew. But yeah, Necromancer trash pack. You want to make sure you kill him. Once you kill him, all the ads around him dies. Bone Menders, I think they're going to come right here. I did a big pull here. Didn't really want to do a big pull, but I never mind. I did that on purpose. So the Bone Mender will definitely heal once any target is at low health. You see right there, it's targeting, casting Life Bargain. Now, cool thing is, Death Knights can actually mind control or control undead most of this entire dungeon. That one being one of them. So once that bowmender does a lot of damage, single target with his bolts, and if anyone in your party is like low on health, like 10%, 20%, it will cast Life Bargain on you, the bone mender, and literally lay on hands you. So right now it's a little broken, but yeah. So we got these skeletal knights here. Gruesome Cleave, lots of damage that Gruesome Cleave does. Now you want to interrupt those horrifying roars. Those are fears. I didn't interrupt the last one. I did have Rebuke up. That was on me. So yeah, Gruesome Cleave, easy mechanic. Just make sure you keep up your active mitigation when that's about to hit you and have none of the melee stand in front of it. Another Necromancer trash pack here. Now, while this Necromancer, I mean, I'm going to assume in Fortified Keys, this pack is going to be pretty tough because you do have to burn down a Necromancer, but you also have to make sure you interrupt the Frost Volleys from the mages. They hurt like crazy. So this trash kind of gets you prepared for the second boss of the dungeon. And this is a really quick dungeon. It's literally the room that we were just in, this room, and then the boss is upstairs. You think you're going to clear all that trash, but you're not. So it's the boss that's upstairs, then gauntlet, then boss. It's really fast. I would say this is probably shorter than even the workshop. Now here's a bug that we encountered. Obviously, we reported it. You kill the Necromancer, but the ads don't die. Now, why are these ads regenerating? Because they regenerate health every certain percentage of their health for a few seconds. Different things could have made this happen. So we were trying to say to ourselves, well, we have a Necromancer at the end of this dungeon, or at the end of this, this floor of trash. Let's take these ads with us and keep clearing until we get to the Necromancer pack and see what happens. So here's Bone Storm, my friend. So this one is a double Bone Mender trash pack with the Skeletal Monstrosity, who does a Reaping Winds ability. So definitely want to make sure that you do your best to kind of just burn down the healers and then just cleave onto the Monstrosity. His damage is really not that important. Like when I'm doing this dungeon, I'm already thinking Mythic Plus, different routes. There's actually some really amazing skips in this dungeon, but because there's not enough trash, I'm assuming you're going to have to clear most of it. Not sure if this is kind of like the philosophy that Blizzard is going with in their current dungeons for Shadowlands. Maybe they want to make them shorter and require you to actually kill all the trash instead of skip. But in the event that, you can't skip the majority of this, because, I mean, we could skip this trash here. We could have skipped the Bone Monstrosity trash pack. We could have skipped this one that I'm about to pull right now. And I'll tell you which one or how you could skip all this in a second here. But yeah, as you can see, my damage intake is really not that crazy. Word of Glory is really powerful. Shield of the Righteous is really powerful. My damage is really good for a tank. I think the only other tank that does as much damage as a Prot Paladin right now is probably, I would say, Blood DK Warrior tank with Avatar up plus Execute. And let's see. I don't know. Yeah, Demon Hunter is actually pretty amazing too with their... Okay, so you see this trash I just pulled? You see that little ledge that's right in front of us? You can actually jump over that little wall and skip the big trash, this pack right here, which is like, this is the worst pack of the entire dungeon. This is like Bone Carvers, Menders, 2 Skeletal Knights. It's so much shit, and it's a lot to deal with. Yeah, and by the way, make sure you don't stand in so well. So well is bad. I mean, it's probably just overtuned right now. There's a nice little anti-magic zone from the Death Knight. Very awesome for heavy magic dungeons like this. That probably just saved my ass right there. But yeah, make sure so well you don't stand in it. It's just terrible. It's doing 3,000 a tick, and it's I forgot who actually spawns it. It was one of those trashes that we just dealt with. So here's a Necromancer. So our goal here was to kill this Necromancer. Maybe it'll kill the other ads, but we were just taking so much Frost Volley damage at this point that we just couldn't survive it. And at that point, I had no cooldowns. Did I have? I don't feel like I had. I think I could have spell warded there, or probably Holy Avenger just to keep myself alive. But I think I just wanted to save it for on the way back. So we wiped. But that was the goal. The goal was to take those bugged out ads to the last Necromancer, kill that Necromancer. Maybe that'll trigger the death of the current ones. But once again, the alpha is doing really well. We're reporting all bugs that we find. We found about at least 10 or 12 bugs in this dungeon alone. Some related specifically to certain class abilities that are being used. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with the Prot Pally, man. I said to myself, man, maybe this is the expansion where, you know, I put up the Prot Pally, you know, leave him up, hang the towel, wave the white flag, but then Holy Power's back, and I'm like, oh man, how could I really just leave Prot Paladin at all after Holy Power comes back, knowing that Holy Power is probably pretty much like when we were at our most powerful. Just because of pure Shield of the Righteous uptime. I mean, this expansion toward the end, we were doing pretty good. You know, there was some decent Shield of the Righteous uptime percentages on Warcraft logs, but I mean, if we're talking Kata, MOP, Draenor, I mean, we're it basically like 90% uptime, which means that, you know, not only are you reducing a shit ton of physical damage, you already have so many cooldowns against magical damage. It's gonna be pretty hard, man, to compete. And once we get more haste, we get better gear. I mean, hell, we don't even have to stack haste in anymore. We could just to overkill, but I mean, even judgment crits are pretty important as well right now. All right, so at first we thought we had to clear all this trash. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, there we go. So you will be brought to justice. There you go. I was like, whew. Yeah, and if you try to pull the ads for more percentage, probably it won't happen because they get one shot by the Kyrian right there. So here's Amarth. This guy sucks. He does necrotic bolts, magic damage. He does a frenzy. Bone spike, out of the way, don't stand in it. Yeah, unholy frenzy. Definitely a wicked ass tank barrage of melee. So he does land of the dead. So he spawns all those warriors, mages that we saw in the trash pack. The goal here is to get the mages in here, destroy everything, get rid of them quickly, because they will do a lot of damage if they're not CC'd. This is a great fight for a Blood DK to use AoE grip plus single grip and you know, silence. The one thing you have to look out for here is to make sure that the you know, if you're a Prot Paladin, that you keep those warriors in check, because you can see right there, warriors going around there smacking some of the ads. I think a healer just died because the warrior, I didn't get aggro on him. I was concentrating too much on the mages at that point. Oh yeah, there we go. Some trinket action. So we kill this guy here, and that's it. That's the fight, and that repeats. And obviously, depending on how many ads you kill in the encounter. So let's say if you leave a mage and a warrior up, you'll get like that AoE that you saw at the end there, the green AoE. And when that happens, it just explodes for a lot of damage if you're standing anywhere near it. All right, so this is the most annoying and bugged out boss of the dungeon, the Necrotic Wake, Surgeon Stitch Flesh. Pretty cool the way you're supposed to kill him, or the way the fight is supposed to go. So he pretty much stands up on that platform, and there's this A-bomb, which you'll see pretty soon, and the A-bomb throws a hook at you. The point is you have to point the hook at the boss. It'll hook the boss down to the floor, and then you have to burn him, and then eventually after a certain time he'll escape, and you rinse repeat. But there's so many bugs. The hook doesn't go off sometimes. The hook stops at the stage. You know, the hook has LOS on some of the items on the stage, so you kind of have to stand in the middle of the room to make it happen. I mean, this was probably the best group I've ran with in terms of damage so far in the alpha on my Prot Paladin. Yeah, this is especially because the DK is just annihilating. DK with that damn breath, bro, and the worm and and two-handed and the new runes that they have. They're so OP. They're so OP, it's fun. But here we go. Flesh Crafter. Interrupt the throw cleaver. Nothing too crazy here. But most of the damage abilities you have to watch out for were in the lower level. Now here's where the little mini gauntlet kind of begins. You start going after these workshop assistants. After you kill these, you're going to have two more little gauntleted. Gauntleted. Is that a new word? Did I just make that up? We'll find out. Trash to kill. First one spawns on the left, then on the right. There you go. So you got to fight Gore Grind here. And now these guys, you can't stop them from pulling. They just pull. So you got to get ready. You know, this is going to like this is going to go down. It's going to go down. Look at that damage, baby. Oh, 2,200. Oh, yeah. And Hammer, fuck your faces back too. Hammer Wrath is so sexy. It's so awesome. I think I'm pretty much holding out on Holy Avenger for when the boss comes down. I'm not sure. Once again, man, you know, no weak auras, default UI, still gets, it takes getting used to. So the bile spit here from the leftovers are pretty dangerous. This is an actual little dangerous trash pack right before the boss encounter begins, because those little swirls give you a debuff, and that debuff hurts. It does a lot of damage. I have already 2 of them right there because I'm a big fat torrent, 3 of them. But I did, you know, I am keeping myself up. It's pretty easy to pop something like Spell Warding and get through that. So here we go. Here's the fight. So here's the A-bomb. So my strat is tank the A-bomb as close to the middle as possible, where that green gem is, because I think if you tank it too close to the boss, the hook doesn't go off properly. But usually we save Lust for this when the boss comes down. I think we actually did it in one phase here. Yeah, if you see the arrow by your feet, point it to the boss. And then you actually have to, like, when the arrow's pointing at you, there's a little circle under your feet that lets you know when the hook is about to go off, so you get out of the way, because the hook can grab you and one-shot you. So here we go. Tanking it in the middle. Eventually he's going to turn. Mutilate is a... Yeah, there we go. Yep, he's getting it. He's getting it. Pointing at the boss. The hook goes. In comes the Surgeon. I'm popping Holy Avenger. I'm popping Wings. We are popping off. And off to the races. And then we pop the Lust here. That is the Hunter... Oh my god, he's getting destroyed. He got literally wrecked, dude. Oh my god. That big, like, blue circle, that was the Hunter Covenant ability, which makes it so that wherever you put that circle, or wherever you put that circle on, you have LOS on them. So you can stand behind a pillar, and they'll take 30%. They have a 30% chance to take increased critical strike damage from you, which is pretty awesome. My AoE ability is Divine Toll. I'm not sure if you see me using it a lot. It basically, anything hits up to 5 targets in a 30-yard radius with Avenger Shield. So it's like a second set of Avenger Shields every minute on trash. So I can Avenger Shield, you know, 4 targets, 5 targets when I'm talented into it, and then I can do another 5 right afterward. It's pretty OP, and it does a good amount of damage. Now Thor the Rime Binder. This guy's pretty tricky. A little overtuned. Excuse me, undertuned. He's gonna put a frost trap under somebody's feet. Everyone has to run away from that person, and then that person can be dispelled, or if you're a paladin, you can free them out of it. It's no big deal. People are asking me to look at the DK's armor, because he's like, how's he doing so much damage? He also does a comet volley, I believe it's called. It's kind of like the Jaina mechanic, where like the little the ice stuff, the little swirlies under your feet, you have to just kind of run in a circle for a little bit. And then he'll randomly, I think it's called Dark Exile. He'll randomly choose a DPS and set them down to, like, you know, the lower floor of this necropolis. And you have to fight your way through a mini, like, you know, a little hallway of AoE to get to a mob at the end, kill the mob, and then Kyrian takes you back. So there you go. I got rooted because he got dispelled too early, so I just freed him out of it. There's the Comet Storm. Run around. I think I just decided to spell ward and stand still. Yeah, I did that. Paladins could do cool shit like that. Because every single time you stand in the storm, you take stacking damage from the from more of the storm itself. He does put a shield up. Icy Shard is kind of like the Jaina mechanic as well. It hurts like crazy. It's physical damage. But yeah, he's getting pretty nuked down. So you can see right now the Hunter is downstairs. And I think we kill the boss before the Hunter can even come up. But that's the dungeon. That's the Necrotic Wake. I want to know what you guys think. Too short, too easy. Obviously, this is normal mode, and you know, on the alpha. But you know, how do you feel? Does this feel like a strat kind of dungeon? Are you getting a Naxxramas vibe from it? I know you have the Kyrians in here trying to help us get rid of these Maldraxxus Necro Lords, but it's pretty fun. And I had a great time on the Prot Paladin. Let me know what you think about the Prot Paladin gameplay. Do you feel more immersive because you have holy power, or will you feel, basically? Because I mean, that's what it boils down to. It boils down to, how do you like holy power, which is spam, 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 do lots of damage, keep up Shield of the Righteous, and win, versus low skill floor, high skill ceiling, current style of tanking. But thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments down below. And any other videos you want to see, I might do a couple of other tank videos soon. Ones that I think have gotten significant changes that matter. Paladin being one of them with holy power. So this is like a throwback That's what it is. It's basically a throwback video for old school tanking, which is now going to go back to this new school tanking. Sloot Tilda. There's that sloot bag. Anyway, thank you. Peace out. Oh, and I'm streaming all the time. Twitch.tv/Tally. Alpha all day, every day. And then beta all day, every day. Later.